All right, pipsqueaks, listen up. I just hit the 10-year mark of my bodybuilding journey. I'm going to share everything with you, have a real dumbed down kind of intro-like video for how to build muscle. Everything I've learned, everything I've done is going to be boiled down into this. Broke out the chalkboard. We're not on the casting couch today. So it's 3 steps, it'll be a 3-part video. Workout, eat, sleep. It is that easy. Very easy equation we'll get into later for how to build muscle. Caloric surplus, caloric deficit. Very simple.
So this picture is the very start of my bodybuilding journey. I was 19 years old, second year in college, and I finally decided to get nutrition in order and build some muscle. I'd already been working out, but kind of just wasting my time, not really paying attention to what I would eat. And then you can actually see in that yellow tub, that was a Juggernaut pre-workout. First one I ever took. I remember how amazing it was the first time you take pre-workout. Never forget it. Now, these pictures are from 10 years later. All these were taken within the last month, all between about 192 and 197, about 6', 6'1" now. Still kind of figuring out how to flex and pose and all that. Yeah, pose, I know how to flex, but yeah, posing and lighting, I never put that much time into that. But here's where we are now.
So for part 1, working out, the ideal thing you want to do is 3 to 4 days a week. You want to go in and do a 5x5. There's a calculator online y'all can use. It's a strength standards calculator. I'll link this in the description. I got a couple other calculators we're going to get to in the video. All going to be linked in the description. Right down there near the subscribe and like button. Y'all go check those out as well. So your workouts will consist of squat, bench, and deadlift. And then if you're going to do a 4-day, throw in an accessories day, like any kind of auxiliary shit. You want to hit biceps a little bit more, shoulders, whatever you want to do. And we're going to focus again on the 5x5. So 5 sets of 5. You really primarily want to use that calculator, and you want to get to where you are in the advanced to elite for your body weight and height for each of those lifts. Once you're there, you should have some decent size for your frame, and then worry about cutting or whatever you want to do from there. Keep going on. The most important part here is to focus on form. Okay. If your form is shit, you're gonna just get hurt. You're gonna look like an idiot. Like, if you're not moving any weight and you're a little skinny boy like I was, that's okay if your form is good. If your form is shit and you're moving no weight and you're a little skinny bitch, that's not okay. Don't be that guy. Focus on the form. The strength will absolutely come. If you're a beginner, eat. We'll get into it in part 2. Eat. The nutrition part's probably the most important. We'll get into that. All right. Like I said, I started out very skinny. I had to eat until I was pretty much sick. You want to have a very high protein diet. Don't be afraid of carbs at all if you're skinny. Again, I can't speak from a place for anyone who's like plus sized and looking to build muscle and cut at the same time. It's kind of the same, but you want to not eat as much carbs, obviously. But for us skinny boys, you eat a lot of pasta, a lot of rice, a lot of meats, a lot of chickens. Very first time I bulked, I was in college. I would destroy a plate of chicken and 2% milk, drink a cup or 2 of milk right before bed, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock every night. And put on about 30 pounds in 3 or 4 months. Some of that was beginner gains. It was also like my first time deadlift, squatting, all that, doing it properly and actually feeding my body what I needed at the same time. Something very important for our nutrition aspect is that you want to think of, and this is for your entire bodybuilding career, if you will, that unless you're going to be an enhanced athlete, if you're staying natural, you need to think of muscle and fat as they're bound together. You're not really going to be able to gain or lose without them both just being together. Like, you're not going to be able to gain muscle while losing fat, if that makes sense. Maybe at the very beginning you can do a little bit, but like for me at where I'm at, it's impossible for me to gain muscle mass without gaining fat, and vice versa, lose fat without losing muscle mass. So with that comes your loss in strength. I'm at the point I don't really care anymore. Pretty much in it just for the aesthetics at this point. And then while you're gaining fat, and muscle mass. You'll gain strength, but you won't be able to tell because your body will look a little bit softer as the composition, you get more fatty tissues. But that is the point. Do not be afraid of this. Um, I would typically just bulk until I started to like almost not be able to see the abs anymore, and then I was like, okay, and my face would like get kind of chubby, fill out, and then I'd be like, all right, this is kind of gross. Once I get to about 20, 30 pounds of bulked weight every winter, then I would go on a pseudo maintenance thing before I would go into the summer cuts. Also, use the calculator again down in the description. You can type in your statistics and figure out what a maintenance weight would be. Drop my pen. You can figure out, your deficit weight or your surplus weight or caloric intake to achieve your weight. If those things don't work, you're just not eating enough. Like I said, eat until you're sick. I've had to eat. I had to blend up food. I blended up tuna. I blended up pizza. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, but it works. And your Rich Piana is pretty good at talking about this. He says how disgusting the food intake has to be for you to achieve what you want. Some people probably have very, very, very fast metabolisms, probably faster than what I had. And eating as much as you can until you're sick still might not work. If that happens to you, I'd recommend getting something gross like this where, let's see. Let's take a look. So this entire thing is supposed to be 18 servings. So it wants you to take 6 scoops, 2,300 calories. So yeah, think about that. So this full shake, if you take it as directed, which I took about half dose, and I noticed I would get chubby, but again, I was in my late 20s when I first bought this product. I don't know how it would have worked when I was 19 when I first started. But like I said, guys, don't make excuses. Eat the food. If you're not seeing results, you got to eat more food. It's that simple. Part 3, of course, is going to be our rest, our sleep. We need, if you're going pretty hard, I would say you want at least 8 hours of sleep a day. If you're a little bit younger, early 20s, which you probably are, if you're watching this video, you're going to want at least 8 hours of sleep. It's going to be hard in college. Go to bed early. It's that simple. Put the phone down. Go check out my dopamine detox videos. Just get the shit out of your face, fall asleep, Don't sit there and look at fucking TikTok, Instagram for 2 hours and then, then your brain can't sleep, and just get right when you lay in bed, put the phone down, you're done. Check that shit in the morning. And then we want at least 2 off days a week. So probably 2 to 3 off days a week where you're just focused on eating, getting those calories in, and you will grow. So part 4 is obviously not on our reference board. It's going to be expectations, okay? You need to keep these realistic. The first thing, the most important, is consistency. Say all 3 have to exist for this to work. With the trifecta, the holy trinity, if you will. Without one, the other 2, not that important, right? Also, this is going to take some time. So I've done this the last 10 years. Every winter for the past 10 years, I've done a bulk and then I've cut down. You have to know that it will take time. It's a process, and that makes it that much sweeter. Another thing to consider is if you are going to stay natural or not. And you need to keep your expectations in line with that and just be realistic with yourself. Something I did back when I very first started back in 2012, when I was 19 years old, is I looked at some golden era bodybuilders back from the 70s. I picked my 2 favorite physiques, which were Serge or Sergey Nubret, whatever, the black French guy, Black Panther, and then Frank Zane. I liked how both of them weren't too big. They had smaller joints, kind of like I did, so that then your insertion has a larger taper. It's just more aesthetically pleasing. And I picked based on their height and then my height and then their body weight shredded and then what my ideal body weight would have been shredded. And I kind of picked that number in my mind, and I'm sort of close to that. Not quite there yet. Probably would like about 10 to 15 pounds of like shredded muscle added on. But, again, I'm going to work on that for the next 10 years. Also, our third calculator is going to be a muscle mass calculator. So here you're going to type in I believe it's your bone density, like wrist and like shoulder, wrist and ankle measurements or something. It's something for measuring your bone frame and your height, and it's going to kind of give you an idea. I looked at it. It was actually pretty accurate for what I have naturally bulked and cut to. And very, very, very close to accurate for what you can expect to weigh at like a genetic, natural, maximum potential kind of deal, which another good calculator link will be down in the description. Again, check out those like, subscribe, comment buttons down there. Bodybuilding class, try to keep it very, very basic. Again, follow our 3 things here, guys. They will work, I promise you. If they're not working, you got to eat more. I don't want to see any comments about any bullshit excuses. It will work, trust me. Like always, DM Dog here, keeping it real. Like, subscribe, comment.